this one wasn't Facebook Marketplace. What's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today we got another little deal going on here. Another Z3 rolling into the shop. I don't know if you can tell by the title, it's not exactly what you think. So got this thing for parts. I got a text from a buddy saying he had another friend actually has a Z3 that they got from auction or something. It was crashed. And here we are gonna go pick it up. I'm gonna go get the truck and trailer. It's only about 10 minutes away from the shop, which is really convenient. Let's just say it's gonna be a fun night. I don't see what could possibly go wrong here. Oh, here she goes. She's looking nice. Okay, here she is. This is a Z3, I don't even know what year. It's a 2.8 liter. It's a manual, or what's left of one. So this car was in a huge wreck. Bought it from some guy, paid 400 bucks. I'll go and give you guys a little bit of a teaser of why I bought this car. So we do have a silver Z3. I made a couple videos a long time ago on it. If you look in the back over there, we have another engine for it. And I'm not gonna exactly tell you what engine we have. So she's gonna need the rear end reinforced, or the 2.8 rear end for my 1.9 that has endless amounts of sentimental value, that little guy. And that's what this car is for. This is a parts car. The previous guy chopped off the rear end, but all of the rear end goodies are still intact and hopefully salvageable. It also has the engine, which has 80,000 miles on it, and a manual transmission ZF box. This is what's left of her. Not much. She's crunched. Hood kind of stays. She is crunched. She's long gone. Strut towers thrown back for miles. There's nothing really saving this little guy. It has seen better days. It's gonzo. Kiss her goodbye. Z3 down. Kind of sad to see it, but it's all right. We're gonna take everything good off this car and we'll put it on our other Z3s. And everything that's junk, we're gonna put in the dumpster. I'm hoping that taking this car apart's not a huge pain because everything's bent and twisted. Like say if the bolts were twisted so far, we couldn't even undo them because they're like shoved up against something. We're gonna get to cutting. We might have to break out some saw blades, some saw wheels. The interior though is honestly not awful. The door panels are off of it. They're black. I don't know if I think he painted them or something. But it's not awful. The seats are fine. But she's a bit of a pro chassis right now with this. Maybe we'll just leave it like that and just, she looks good. She looks good. Alrighty, without further ado, we're gonna tear into it. I'll see you guys in a second. Just got the crash bar off. You can see the radiator's toast, obviously. But look at this clutch fan. It literally drove it into, I don't know if you can tell, into the block. Like, it's like part with the pulleys. I don't know. Thermostat housing's obviously broken. I'm hoping the head is not like cracked from any impact. It's kind of our only prayer here. But look how just smushed on that is. I gotta pry this thing off and see what it comes out to be. But that fan is like stuck. That was the water pump pulley. He just like shoved it back on there. Holy moly. So looking at it, the whole motor's shifted over. He said one of the motor mounts is broken. Not surprised, the whole frame's tweaked that way. Subframe, this wheel's all cocked out. I'm gonna start ripping stuff out. Sheesh. Alrighty, we got the little Z3 TI looking thing up in the air. Taking our very first look underneath the car. The diff and everything looks good. This is my first time seeing it. Making sure all these points where they attach, like this diff mount, the bushing's a little bit ripped, that doesn't matter. Nothing is bent or tweaked because we need the rear end for the other Z3. Moving further into the car, everything here looks okay, so that's good. We know the rear end is solid. Alright, moving under here, yeah, the drive shaft, someone cut the front half, which is a bit of a shame. Either cut it or maybe it broke. It might have broken. The shifter's broken, which is dangling here. That's the shifter. Drive shaft's cut out. Obviously, trans mount probably sheared in the wreck, or somebody cut it. Somebody cut the exhaust. I don't know where the cats were. Tranny's here. It looks pretty fresh, actually. Maybe 80,000 mile transmission, which is good. We'll have to make sure all the linkage and stuff is in tip-top shape. Kind of looking at the mounts for the lower control arms. Those can come off easy. Subframe, probably a little bit tweaked, but I think we'll be able to get it off. The engine actually looks really clean, guys. There's no leaks or anything, which is a bit of a shame. Most of the time these are pretty moist under here. So that's a good sign. Everything looks good. Hoping the trans is all right. Because if you think about it, the engine gets pushed back, hits the tranny, like the tranny gets pushed back with it, and then the drive shaft and the diff. And in between there has no place to go. Maybe it snapped. Kind of looks like it did, or somebody cut it. But either or, it was a big impact to cause all this damage. And just like that, the motor is out. That didn't take too long at all. It was pretty much under 2 hours just because everything was pretty much broken. Trans mounts, motor mounts, drive shaft was even snapped. So she came out really easily, which was really nice. So got a good ZF transmission, probably got a good motor, about 80,000 miles. If you look at it, she's pretty clean for what she is. So that's definitely a plus. Looking at the engine bay, there's nothing really else that we really wanted. Everything else is pretty either tweaked or bent or junk. We might take the pedals out of this car for a future Z3 manual swap, but got the top down finally. Everything's kind of tweaked, so nothing really opens very well. But interior looks good. Someone spray painted these door panels, so we're just going to set those off. The interior looks pretty decent for what it is. We might take some of these trims. Going to take the gauge cluster for the other Z3. Probably going to pull the seats out for a future car or for sale, and then little console bits. And this is actually pristine, which most of the time this is cracked just from the sun. And then the top, the doors of course, and then the stuff underneath. But for tonight, we're gonna call it a night, and we'll see you next time. Alright, it is the next day. We actually got a little bit of power to this piece of junk, and she has confirmed 86,900 miles, which is pretty unbelievable if you ask me. It's kind of sad to see this thing get absolutely demolished with such low mileage. But at least we got a nice M52 and a ZF transmission with confirmed low miles, and I guess running when it got hit, probably. Now what we're gonna do, we took the doors off already. We're gonna take some of the interior bits out and then start cutting this thing up. And I've ripped my pants twice on this piece of junk, so that's the first thing that's gonna get cut. It's been a couple hours. You won't believe where we're at with this thing. So we're throwing this car away in a dumpster, recycling, whatever you wanna call it. We're cutting it in half. So she is, I would say, perforated, one might say, along this lovely little cut. And once we get this trim out that we're trying to save, the cuts are going to meet in the middle in the trans tunnel. And the Z3 is going to be in half. Oh, she's almost there. We're going to get the floor jack. We're going to see if we can kind of persuade it. All right, here she goes. This thing's rigid. Oh. Oh, that's safe. Let's do. Oh. Oh yeah. This is something else. It's gonna fall off the lift for sure. Hold on. There's definitely a little spot here I might need to trim. How did we get into this? Yo!
Here we go in Johnson Monster.
Dude, what is... Oh. I'm just giving it...
Oh!
Oh, it's happening. It's happening. Now we go up with the lift.
Oh my god.
This is niche.
This is very niche. Niche as it gets. Well, jack stand number 1 fell. Oh my gosh!
We did it.
I love it. Woo! Who wants it?
$500, buddy. Come and get her. Well, this is where we're gonna leave it with the Z3. She's seen better days, to say the least, but I think she's made her exit pretty glorious. So we're gonna recap real quick. We got the crashed hood. We're probably gonna throw that away. Got the good rear end. That's gonna go in another Z3, and we have the good interior bits that we're gonna put in another Z3 as well. Got the doors, another box of good bits, and everything else is pretty much either broken or junk or trashed, or like the steering wheel's bent from the wreck, which would have been kind of scary if you were that guy. Got a couple bins full of junk. But the key here is an 86,000 mile motor and ZF transmission. That's gonna do us very well. Probably gonna put it either in the E36 or another Z3 or just stockpile it in the back. Got the front end stuff as well. Subframe's a little bit tweaked, so we probably will have to discard that and kind of be selective with what we use, because we don't want to use direct parts on a good car and then realize stuff's bent and it'd be all out of whack. Man, this is a sight to see, nonetheless. I'm gonna leave you guys here with this video. You probably won't see any more of this car. We're gonna kind of discard it and then keep the parts and then move on to the next build. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give us a like and a comment down below. I'll see you guys next video. Whole dang Z3, both halves. Front half, back half.
That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right? That's a bet, right? That's a deal, right? That's a deal, right?